Hey film fans, welcome to CINEPRO, your ultimate hub for all movie recaps. From heartwarming classics to the latest blockbusters, we start our film with a bald man who looked anxious because he was performing a certain ritual and asking some unseen power not to harm him. Then, the same bald man appears tied to a table, clearly terrified. Another man enters with a small saw and starts cutting his legs. Here, we see a sofa that looks totally ordinary, but it witnesses this bloody scene. Next, we see some delivery people entering a warehouse, where they find a tied-up sofa with a note saying, "Send it to Francesca," with the address written on the back. The girls try to move the sofa, but one of them puts her hand in the wrong place and almost gets her finger cut off. The man tells them it's best if they leave and he'll handle the sofa. Then we meet our heroine, Francesca, who was dancing when her dance was interrupted by Detective Bob and his partner, Detective Roseanne. They said they wanted to talk to Francesca and her friend Maxie because someone they knew named Federico was murdered and they didn't find any motive. They asked them a few questions. Francesca said she had filed a restraining order against him because he was strange. Maxie also confirmed that he was very weird and obsessed with Francesca. Maxie stopped talking and told Francesca they needed to go get the sofa they ordered. After they left, Detective Roseanne said she didn't trust Francesca, and Bob agreed. The delivery man went to deliver the sofa, but the man at the shop told him he was mistaken because no woman by that name lived there. He forgot that Maxie had a friend with that name. The man stayed with the delivery guy as he left, and when he saw the sofa, he suddenly felt something strange and decided to touch it. When he did, he had a vision of being in a forest where a man was chasing a woman. He snapped out of it. Anyway, the sofa arrived at Francesca's house. She got home and asked her fiancé to help her move it. At night, she was sitting on a chair drinking tea. At the same time, Maxie's grandfather felt that the sofa was possessed, so he started researching the topic online and found a YouTube channel by a man who believed in this stuff. The next day, Francesca woke up and found a beautiful breakfast on the sofa, so she thought that her fiancé prepared it. The police kept the investigating and discovered that Federico, who died, was expert at voodoo, which is a religious belief. The police summoned Francesca again, and here we discover a secret. All the men and some women feel a strange attraction toward Francesca, and they all end up obsessed with her. Meanwhile, Francesca's fiancé is cooking, and the sofa is watching him. Suddenly, he hears a noise behind him and sees that the sofa has moved, but he doesn't pay much attention. The sofa keeps moving toward him until it hits his leg. When he gets home, they find him alone in the bathtub, with blood everywhere from his stabbed leg. He decides to go to his mother's house to recover, where he wants to take some painkillers but finds there's no water. He calls his mom to bring him some, but she doesn't hear him because she's playing yoga, so he gets up to get water himself. He looks out the window and sees a hook outside. When he opens the window, he sees the sofa waiting below. He tries to close the window, but the sofa hooks him again, and this second injury kills him instantly. The next morning, his mother opens the room door wanting to get the vacuum cleaner, but finds part of her son's body inside it. Francesca meets another one of her obsessed fans who asks her to marry him, but she says she can't because she's engaged. When Francesca leaves, the crazy guy enters her house and installs cameras inside. The sofa sees him. The crazy guy enters her room and starts going through her clothes. The sofa also enters the room and hits him with an iron. The detectives tell Francesca that her fiancé is dead. They suspect a murder, so they decide she should stay at a hotel, thinking one of her obsessed male fans might be the killer. Maxie leaves her alone. At the same time, Maxie's grandfather and his friend are trying to figure out who took the sofa, knowing that whoever has it is in danger. His friend remembers that Maxie's friend Francesca has the sofa, so Maxie's grandfather calls her and tells her they must destroy it. Maxie says she always felt something strange about the sofa and that Francesca has been acting weird since she bought it. Maxie decides to go to Francesca's house to get the sofa. Of course, the sofa does what we all expected. It throws Francesca's crazy fan off the balcony window. She tries to escape but faints and falls into the trash bin outside. At the hotel, Francesca hears someone saying something, so she goes to the kitchen and finds the voice coming from the dishwasher. We learn here that the sofa is calling her from the apartment. At the same time, the detectives arrive and knock on Francesca's hotel room door. When she opens, she tells them she's worried about Maxie because she hasn't come back in hours. They go to look for her at Francesca's house, find her car keys on the floor, call her, and hear the phone ringing from below. They go downstairs and find the body of Francesca's crazy fan. At the same time, Francesca turns around and sees the sofa, which starts talking to her. Francesca runs away in fear. The next day, she's about to kill herself, but Maxie's grandfather calls and tells her he needs to talk to her urgently. Francesca goes to Maxie's house, where we learn the sofa is possessed by a spirit. Maxie's grandfather has a vision about a woman named Valerie. She and her husband were evil and used to kill people with poison from a certain flower and steal their souls. Thanks to the rituals that those two used to perform, Valerie had the ability to possess any man, and not just men, but even women, to the point of obsession. Valerie's husband was caught and burned, but Valerie managed to escape. When they were about to catch her, she cut off her own head, and all of this happened in front of a peasant woman named Mary, who was immediately possessed by Valerie's spirit. This peasant woman is the mother of Francesca's grandmother. At that moment, Francesca began to understand everything and said that now everything happening made sense and had a specific reason because her great-grandmother, grandmother, and mother all shared the same trait: people's obsession with them. Grandpa Maxie told her that Valerie's spirit remained from generation to generation and that this spirit was present in the couch. Valerie's spirit gained power and wanted to take complete control over everything, so they decided to make a wooden box to try to imprison the spirit inside it. After that, Francesca had a vision where everything was red, and there was a mirror. When she approached it, she saw Valerie next to her. Francesca looked back at the mirror but found that she looked like Valerie and tried to kill herself at that moment. Grandpa Maxie woke her up and asked her to give him the box, but she took it and said she was going to kill the couch. Grandpa Maxie meant that he wanted the medicine box. The couch started moving by itself. Francesca reached home, put the box down, and asked the spirit to enter it. But of course, the spirit ignored her. So Francesca started pouring gasoline on the couch and lit a match. But every time she lit a match, it went out by itself. At the same time, the detective managed to find out who cut off the legs of the bald man because they found his DNA at the scene. Of course, he was interrogated and asked why he killed him, but he said he didn't kill him. The bald man asked him to cut off his legs because he wanted to sit on the couch, but his legs wouldn't fit. When Detective Bob found this out, he called Detective Roseanne, and they went straight to Francesca's house. When they entered, they found the couch about to harm them, so they shot at it. Half of it fell to the ground, revealing its deformed face. Francesca went to the bathroom and tried to take some pills, but they fell to the ground. When she bent down to pick them up, she was surprised by a woman who entered through the door and made her run. This was Valerie's spirit possessing her. Maxie woke up, got out of the trash can, and went to Francesca's house to check if she was okay. There was a piece of glass in the middle of her head, but she felt fine. Then we see Francesca and Detective Bob together. She made him a cup of tea and put a flower in it, the same flower Valerie used for poisoning. Detective Bob died at that moment. At the same time, Detective Roseanne was gathering all the documents related to the couch. Then she received a call from the morgue, saying that there was something wrong with Valerie's corpse because her body had only been decomposing for 2 weeks. The detective couldn't believe it because she had shot her just 2 days ago. Maxie started researching more about spirits and found out that the spirit could possess another body. The detective went to Francesca's house because she knew she was with Bob. She wanted to tell them what she had learned at the morgue, but when she arrived, she found the door opening by itself and saw Bob lying on the ground, wearing Francesca's clothes. Francesca appeared from behind her and killed her. Maxie also arrived and saw the murder through the window. Francesca and Bob left the house, and the spirits of the two who performed the rituals, Valerie and her husband, possessed Francesca and Bob. Now the two of them will continue killing together. This is where the movie ends. If you liked today's movie, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. See you in the next episode.